and Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakhakwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles, a great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Ba'ath Dabadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Okay, so this lesson is entitled, God chose the foolish to confound the wise. Okay, he chose the foolish to confound the wise. Okay, and who are the foolish? The nation of Israel. Okay, because in this present day world, we are seen as being foolish. Okay, the things that we teach according to the truth, you know, it's foolishness to the people of this world, because the people of this world are carnal. Okay, they're not spiritual people. They don't see things the way that we see them. Okay, they don't see things for how they really are according to the Spirit. This is going to be 1 Corinthians chapter 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 1. First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26. And it says, For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. Verse 27, But the Most High hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Verse 28, And the base things of the world, and the things which are despised, hath the Most High chosen. Yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. Okay, so the Most High chose those that are weak, foolish, and that aren't really skillful or have any type of prestigious education, and like, you know, one of these prestigious schools or colleges, or have a academic, you know, a very noteworthy academic background according to this society. He chose average people that didn't have any type of certifications or any type of special skill, you know, just regular guys that were working regular jobs just to make a living. Take for example, let's get and you know, he also chose people that weren't, you know, like I said, that weren't the most educated, you know, didn't have eloquent speech, you know. And we're going to go to the book of Exodus. Exodus chapter 4. Exodus 4 and verse 10. And this was the Lord talking to Moses. So Exodus chapter 4, verse 10, and it says, And Moses said unto the Lord, oh, actually, let me see here. Let's see. Yep. Let me start at verse 10. Exodus 4 and 10, it says, And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue. Okay, so Moses was basically telling me, look, man, Lord, I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the most educated. You know, I'm nothing really special to look at. But what does the Lord say? He says, verse 11, And the Lord said unto him, Who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Okay, so whether you're dumb, deaf, blind, or whatever the case, The Lord made you, and he can do whatever he wants with you. He can give you the spirit of that wisdom and understanding to actually be eloquent, to be educated. Verse 12, now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. Verse 13, and he said, O my Lord, send I pray thee by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. So basically, Moses like, can you please send someone else? I can't do this. In verse 14, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, and he said, is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well, and also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. Verse 15, and thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth, and I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do. And verse 16, and he shall be thy spokesman unto the people, and he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of God, instead of the Most High. Okay? So, Aaron was going to be the spokesman, and then while Moses was going to be in the place of the Most High, basically, So, that's the thing, man. You when it comes to this faith, man, when you look at other brothers, not all of us, some of us may come from that background, that college educated background or whatnot, but a lot of us don't have that. A lot of us are just regular, average, everyday guys that just work a mediocre job, just an average, just like your everyday average citizen, nothing really special, nothing really reputable to be praised by this society standards. Now we're going to go to the book of Acts. It's going to be the book of Acts chapter 4. Acts chapter 4, Acts 4 and 13. Let's see. This is the book of Acts chapter 4, verse 13, and it says, now when they saw Peter, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them, that they had been with Yahushua. Verse 14, and beholding the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it. So, even though Peter and John, they were brothers, they were the sons of a fisherman, right? So a fisherman, another, typical job, it's whatever, nothing special. Okay? And when Yahushua approached them, he told them, look, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. Okay? And that's basically what the prophets are. We're out here fishing for the elect. Okay? And verse 15, when they saw, the boldness of Peter and John and see what they did, those miracles, they had nothing to say. Verse 15, but when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them. It is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we can't deny it. So basically people are like, these guys, they're not, the most reputable people. Like, there's ordinary people, and yet they were able to do this. Like, they were astonished. Okay, and it says here, verse 17, but that it's, but that it spread no farther among the people, let us straightly threaten them, that they speak henceforth to no man in his name. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach in the name of Yahushua. But Peter and John answered and said unto them, whether it be right in the sight of the Most High to hearken unto you more than unto the Most High, judge ye. Verse 20. For we cannot but speak the things which we have seen and heard. So, okay. So, as the scriptures say, 2 Corinthians 13 and 8. I'm going to get it real quick here. 2 Corinthians 13 and 8. And it says, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Okay? So, the truth, we can't do nothing for it, but we can only be for it and do with that, and live by it. All right? Now, let me see here. Let's see. Matthew. See. There we go, right here. Matthew chapter 4, verse 18. It says, and Yahushua, walking by the sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon and Peter, and Andrew and his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. Okay, verse 19, he saith unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. Verse 20, and going on from thence, he saw two other brethren, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, on a ship with Zebedee their father, mending their nets. And he called them, and they immediately left the ship and their father and followed him. Okay? So he gathered up, back then Yahushua, he gathered up a following of just regular men, people that were just working, a regular job, whether it be a fisherman or, that was just that example. But, like I said, the Most High, he's gathering up men who are just, like I said, just weak, the foolish things of the world, and not exactly eloquent in speech, not that highly educated or, have a great skill or craft, So it's really the Most High who chooses who he wants, okay? And that's why the scriptures say in the book of Jeremiah chapter 3, Jeremiah 3 and 15. It says, I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Okay? So, the Lord's telling you, man, he's the one that's, he's the one that's picking out the ones who he wants to, to bring out his word. We don't need no certificate or any proof that we went to some theology school, okay? We don't need that. Okay, we don't need a man's approval. We only need the Most High's approval, because this is his word, this is his program. He's the one who chooses who he gets. He's the one who chooses who's gonna, get his word out. Okay? You can go to the first chapter of Jeremiah. I'll tell you right here, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4, and it says, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, verse 5, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Okay? In verse 6, it says, then said I, Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said unto me, say not, I am a child. For thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee thou shalt speak. Verse 8, be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. Okay? Verse 9, then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth, and the Lord said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. Okay? And verse 10, see, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down and to build and to plant. All right? And that's what us prophets are doing on a daily basis, man. We're rooting out the undesirables. We're pulling down these strongholds, you know, basically exposing the lies, deceptions, and, you know, just overall the wicked and abominable acts of our enemies, especially Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and to destroy and to throw down and to build and to plant. So to pull down, to destroy, and to throw down and to root out, you know, we're exposing this place. You know, we're telling our people that they're going off, that they're following the wrong thing, and to build and to plant. You know, we're building up the body, the tabernacle of men. Remember, you know, as the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, the Lord's tabernacle is with men. All right. So, building and planting. You know, we're planting them seeds, and them seeds are our deeds, our works. You know, how many sincere believers and listeners are we gathering, bidding to this marriage? You know. That's why I'm going to go back to the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29. Acts 5 and 29. And it says, Acts 5 and 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. Verse 30, the power of our fathers raised up Yahushua, whom ye slew and hanged from a tree. 31, him hath the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. 32, and we are his witnesses of these things, and so is also the Holy Spirit, whom the Most High hath given to them that obey him. So, you know, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. Okay? Man has no authority. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has authority, but not man. All right, and here's another example. Okay, you got Amos. He was a herdman, you know, a shepherd. Amos 7 and 14. And it says, then answered Amos and said to Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. Verse 15, and the Lord took me as I followed the flock, and the Lord said unto me, go, prophesy unto my people Israel. Okay? So, there you go. Amos was a herdman, a shepherd, right? And the gatherer of sycamore fruit. It's just a regular guy. Okay? And another example. First Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 17. Verse 12. 1 Samuel 17 and 12. It said, now David was the son of the Ephrathite, of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse. And he had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. Okay. And verse 6 here. Verse 13, and the three eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle, and the names of his three sons were, or the sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, and next to him was Abinadab, and the third was Shammah. And David was the youngest, and the three eldest followed Saul. But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. Okay, so therefore, David was a young man, taking care of his father's, his sheep. Another, a herdman as well. And let's see. And this is verse 16. And the Philistines drew near morning and evening and presented himself 40 days. And Jesse said unto David his son, take now for thy brethren an ephah of this parched corn and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brethren, and carry these 10 cheeses unto the captain of their 1,000, and look how thy brethren fare, and take their pledge. Okay. I'm going to go to verse 20. It says, and David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with the keeper, and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. Okay, and David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came and saluted his brethren. Okay, and talked with him. Behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were sore afraid. Okay. And in verse 25, and the men of Israel said, have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. 26, and David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living power? And the people answered him after this manner, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. And verse 20, and Eliab his eldest brother heard when he spake unto the men, and Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and said, why camest thou down hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. Okay. Now I'm going to go down to verse 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him, and I smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and the uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath defiled the armies of the living power. All right, so, David, David did not fear, did not fear Goliath. He feared the Lord, just like how we fear the Lord. We don't fear man. Again, the scriptures say, fear not the one that can kill the body, but rather to fear the one that can destroy both soul and body in hell. All right. So, continuing. Verse 37. David said, moreover, the Lord hath that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear. He will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put on a helmet of brass upon his head, and he also armed with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he is said to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with this, for I have not proved them. And David put them off. So he took off all that armor, the helmet, the chainmail, and all that stuff, the sword. He said he took his staff in his hand, and he chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in the shepherd's bag which he had, even in a scrip. And he had his sling, and his sling was in his hand. And he drew near unto the Philistine. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. So you basically have what this society would call a young boy, who was really a young man, going up against a more mature man that was a man of war. And David won. So that right there goes to show you that we don't need to be mighty. We don't need to be mighty. We don't need to be highly educated. We don't need to be anything great of this world. Okay? Remember, the Lord the Lord dwells with the meek and lowly. All right? He's not about the high and mighty and the proud. All right? And you all know the rest of the story from here. But yeah, so just basically, someone who's never had experience in war, yet he slew a bear and a lion to save a lamb out of the flock. The Lord can take ordinary people that would be pretty much nothing to look at in this world and turn them into mighty men. Okay. All right, let's see, where was I going? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to 1 Corinthians. So 1 Corinthians chapter 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. Okay. So it says here, this is going to be 1 Corinthians chapter 4. All right, so up, yeah. I'm going to start at verse 4, 1 Corinthians 4 and 4, Salakia. So it says, For I know nothing by myself, yet am I not hereby justified. But he that judgeth me is the Lord. Therefore judge nothing before the time until the Lord come, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the hearts. And then shall every man have praise of the Most High. Verse 6, And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollo for your sakes, that ye might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another. Okay, because the scriptures say that knowledge puffeth up. Okay, being in this thing, man, we have to understand that nobody is better than nobody. Okay, that we are all on the same page here. We're all working towards the same goal. Okay, we're not here to compete with one another. Okay, this is not a competition. Okay. Okay. Verse 7. For who maketh thee to differ from another? And what hast thou that thou didst not receive? Now if thou didst receive it, why dost thou glory as if thou hadst not received it? Verse 8, now ye are full, now ye are rich. Ye have reigned as kings without us, and I would to the Most High ye did reign, that we might also reign with you. For I think that the power hath set forth us the apostles last, as it were approved to death, for we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. Verse 10, for we are fools for Hamashiach's sake, but ye are wise in Hamashiach. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but ye are despised. Okay? So we're made a spectacle. So when we're out there, you know, people look at us strange. They look at us funny. They look at us like nobodies. You know, they think lowly of us. You know, when we're out there, man, we're humiliating ourselves. Okay? We don't care whether people laugh at us, mock and scoff, call us names, talk shit. We don't care. Okay? And of course, they would look at us like, you know, who are these guys to preach the Bible to us? These are ordinary people. They're nobodies. They work regular jobs. Did not the Lord choose, you know, so-called average people, mediocre people that were living an average, mediocre life to preach the word? Once again, they'll listen to those pastors that have on those nice monkey suits and that preach that, you know, the laws are done away with, God loves everybody, it's okay to eat pork. Your tithes and offerings, you give them a certain amount of money, and what do they do with that money? They go buy them a nice car, or a nice private jet, or whatever. And they'll listen to those soothsayers, those liars, those deceivers, rather than listen to the people that the Lord chose according to his heart. Okay, the men out there on the highways and byways wearing these garments. Okay, we're the real teachers, Lord willing that we are. So, you know, like I said, you know, this is not a competition. This is not a thing of competition. It's not a popularity contest. It's none of that. Okay, it's just strictly business of preaching the word of the Lord, letting the people know that the King is going to make his return. Okay, this isn't for everybody. We're only crying out to the elect that are going to hear, that are going to listen, and that are going to understand. Okay? We're not here for everybody. We're not here to impress anybody or everybody. Okay? And so what? You may have a coworker who knows, or who's probably seen you out there. He talks to you and whatnot, blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is still business. Okay? And with that, I hope that this was an edifying lesson. So once again, you know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai chose the foolish to confound the wise. In fact, let me go back. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, I'm going to start at verse 25. It says, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. Verse 26, for ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. Okay? So those that are mighty, noble, and, you know, wise, according to the flesh, not many are called. Like I said, the majority of us that are in this, we're just meek, lowly, poor, just doing what we got to do to get by. Okay? Just using the world, not abusing it. We're just doing what we can to, you know, just to make it. Okay? So, again, verse 27, but the Most High had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and the base things of the world, and things which are despised hath the Most High chosen. Yeah, the prophets are not liked. We're hated. These people hate us. They say that we're a hate group. We preach hate and that we're racist and all this and that. You know, they say that what we preach is nothing but hate and racism, and it's segregated, and it's going to divide the people. Guess what? The Lord is a separatist. He's dividing the people right now. The Lord said, I have come not to bring peace, but a sword. He's bringing that war. And he's bringing division. And you can see that amongst the people here, especially here in America. All right? So, you people keep thinking that the Most High is an all-loving God, but that's not the case. And that's what we're trying to tell you. The ones that are poor, not much to look at, don't have any type of certification or degree in theology or whatnot, yet we're more knowledgeable and smarter than most of the people of this world, if not almost all of them. But then again, I hope that this was an edifying lesson unto the body and to the few sincere believers and listeners. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and face the east and give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, HaKodash. I want to give double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ath, the Davidah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom, Barakatam.